This experimental setup is of height equivalent to a theoretical plate. The concept of this is here we have a packed column. Usually we will use 8 hours for our separation of any solution. So in that, when you are separating, how many number of trays are required for the separation, we will calculate. But here this is your packed column in which you have a beads packed in this till here it is called a packed column. Here we are going to verify how much height of this packing is required for how much height of packing is equal to one theoretical plate. So coming to our experiment, here we are taking CCl4 and toluene as our test fluids. Take the given amount of CCl4 and toluene in this heating mantle or in this 3-neck bottom flask and increase your temperature. Once it reaches its boiling point, whatever the solution mixture you have taken here, that will be evaporated through this packing column and that is collected in this condenser. Once the fumes or the vapors reach this condenser, whatever the condensate is there, that condensate is your distillate. The distillate, the cooled distillate will fall into this 3 round neck bottom flask. Why? Because we are not collecting any distillate from the top. So this condition is called total reflux condition. Once the total reflux condition is reached, that means you are not collecting any distillate here. The total distillate, whatever the distillate is collected in the condenser, that will fall into our heating mantle or into our bottom vessel. This is your distillation column. You take it as your distillation column. So once the total reflux condition is reached, you collect some amount of the mixture. That is, this mixture contains your toluene and CCl4. We don't know the concentration of toluene and CCl4 here, and similarly you collect the mixture from the residue also. This residue contains a mixture of toluene and CCl4. So once we have a toluene and CCl4, we have to calculate the concentration of toluene and CCl4. So for that we will go for refractive index method. As you have done in the differential distillation, you have plotted a standard graph for CCl4 and toluene for various concentrations. From the values of from the refractive index values of distillate and CCl4, we will be knowing the concentration of toluene and CCl4 in the in distillate as well as in the residue. Once we got these values of once we know the values of distillate and CCl4, we will be able to know XF, XD and XW. With these values, we have, by using Macabe-Thiele method, we have to plot a graph. From that plot, we have to note down our number of trays. So for that, here at the total reflux condition, there will be no operating line. So that should be equal to your 45 degrees line. From that 45 degrees line, you can draw your triangles that will be equal to your trays. So here your number of theoretical trays equal to total trays minus 1. That minus 1 is for our reboiler. So once we know this column height. This column height is 0.56 meters. So from that, Hetp equal to height divided by number of theoretical plates. From that we will be getting total height equivalent to number of theoretical plates.